Hey, just a quick question. If
Hello and welcome everyone to our weekly office hours. This is the place where you can ask your questions and get all information about Flow. We have a very interesting and packed agenda today. Sadly, Albert couldn't make it, so you have to bear with me. I'm Ben, Technical Content Marketing Manager for Flow. And today we are going to have a short TLDR, which Kim already pre-recorded and which we're going to take a look at. And then we're going to have demos from the folks over at Tatum that make the life of developers on Flow so much easier. And they are very valued ecosystem partners, so we are super happy to have them here today. And then I'm also very pleased to introduce a demo from Phil, one of the participants of our FlipFest, and he's going to showcase a flow event monitoring service that he made. So very exciting. And without further ado, let's just introduce ourselves. So I already said I'm Ben, Technical Content Marketing Manager of Flow.
Hi, I'm Bastian. I'm working on Cadence.
Hi.
I can.
Yeah, go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, I can go next. I think some people are not here yet. Yeah. Hey, my name's Kerry. I'm the engineering manager for the Flow DevX team. I'm located in Toronto.
Hi, y'all. My name is Kim, and I'm a developer advocate for Flow. I help make Flow more accessible to developers and the mainstream.
Hey, Jan is here, a developer from Flow. I work on the Flow virtual machine.
and also with fees.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh. I'm a smart contract developer on the Flow team. I'll be in the Cadence channel later.
Hey everybody, I'm James. I work on FCL and the JS SDK. A lot of wallet stuff. I'll be in the FCL SDK channel later.
Hi, my name is Gregor. I work on developer experience team building tools to help you develop apps.
Hey everyone, I'm Srinjoy. I'm a product manager on the DevX team. I work with a lot of the engineers here to build the tooling and docs that you see.
Everybody, I'm Chase. I also work on FCL and the SDK.
Cool. I think that's it. We have everyone. Did we miss someone? I don't think so. Otherwise, please make yourself heard. So 2 short flags before we're going over to our TLDR video. One thing is, next week we will not have office hours because the whole Flow team, or basically many people of the Flow team, will be at NFT NYC. So this is why we skip next week, but the week after we will have office hours again. But yeah, for this reason, this program is going to be much more awesome. Even more awesome this week. Okay, the second flag is when you're going to watch the TLDR video, you can just right-click on the video itself and adjust the volume if you find the volume of the video a bit too silent. So let's go ahead. Take us away, Kim.
Cool. Yeah, so everyone can see the screen that I am sharing. Make sure you can right-click and adjust the volume if it's a little too low for you. Hello folks, I'm so glad you can join us. This is TLDR Updates on Flow. I'll be your host. My name is Kim, and let's jump into the agenda for this week. First, let's kick things off by congratulating Matrix World for a huge launch during FlowFest. Their virtual metaverse sold over 2 million USD worth of lands in just 24 hours. We've still got plenty of drops on Flow all the way through the end of November, so let's see what's next up on the horizon. First up, Sports Icon is dropping its collab with one of Mexico's finest football clubs, Pumas, this weekend on the 30th. Fantastic Swap leads off next week with their FlowFest packs for November 2nd, and on the 3rd, get ready for packs from the world's first comedy platform, Jam, and some drops preparing for liftoff. Mellows collaborating with the dynamic DJ duo Nervo is on its way, and it's almost time for the highly anticipated Genesis drop from Ballers. Be sure to bookmark Flowverse for the full FlowFest drops calendar. Ready to buy your next domain name on Flow? FlowNS has launched the first phase of its domain name service platform, launching the .fn domain. You can register for any 5-letter or longer domain name today at the cost of 0.32 Flow per year. In the future, they will release 4-letter and 3-letter registrations as well. Domain names can be traded on the MyNFT marketplace, creating an open economy. FlowNS is also building into a DAO post-launch to create a truly decentralized hub for domain name services on Flow. Check out their partner spotlight to learn more about FlowNS. Jam is the first blockchain comedy platform in the world, on a mission to serve collectors by unlocking the value of NFTs and empowering them to own cultural moments with utility and exclusivity. Their focus is bringing in non-native crypto users through fans of comedians through their launches, using the Jam platform to interact with the blockchain in a minimized and elegant way. This truly bridges the gap between blockchain and non-blockchain communities and allows for greater contribution and collaboration on a global scale. It's also worth noting that they have cross-chain integration and NFT upgradability in their roadmap. Learn more about Jam in our partner spotlight. And get ready for their drop on November 3rd. Mellows is the destination for creating, discovering, and collecting original music on Web 3.0. They're creating a new ecosystem for music creators and fans alike. With Mellows, you don't just listen to music and collect NFTs, you can discover, create, and be rewarded for being a part of their community. Learn more about Mellows in the blog below. And now for our Week 6 FlipFest updates as we reach the final stretch. Registration closed last week, and we want to thank the hundreds of developers who joined in on the FlipFest Build-a-thon. Now that registration's closed, we're down to the wire for submissions. Remember to get your submissions in before the deadline this Saturday, October 31st. That means no more pull requests will be accepted after the 31st. If there are requested changes or improvement feedback, teams will have till November 7th to make their final changes. And the FlipFest closing ceremonies will be for November 23rd at 8 a.m. PT, so make sure you keep your eye out for that. And that's it, folks, for TLDR updates this week. Hope you enjoyed our updates. Come visit the team at NYC. Have yourself a wonderful week, and bye.
So FlipFest is entering the last stages, super exciting. And how cool is that? Flow domains, very excited about that. Thanks, Kim, for that video. That was, again, as usual, a great summary of what happened in the Flow ecosystem. And now, without further ado, let's get started with Tatum and the demo that they brought today.
Hey everyone, I'm Evan. I'm the community manager at Tatum, and I'm here with Sam. And we're just going to be showing off, what you can do with Tatum on Flow. So we're a blockchain developer platform. We support 40 or more than 40 blockchain protocols, and we've got a bunch of features which really speed up blockchain development. So there are over 300 features. You can use them through our SDK or API. We run the infrastructure for you, and most calls, or a lot of calls, are unified across various blockchains. So today we're going to be showing you how to do some simpler operations on Flow, and then we're going to show you how to deploy our pre-built NFTs, and then we're going to talk about our Flow autoscaler, which is something that will help you automatically scale your app on Flow, and whatever else Sam wants to get into. I've got a guide that I've made that covers everything we wanted to talk about, so I'll post that in the Office Hours channel, and I'll let Sam take it from here.
Thank you, Evan. Hey guys, I'm gonna start sharing the screen so all of us will see what I'm gonna do today. And here we are. So hi again, my name is Sam. I'm CTO and co-founder of Tatum, and today I'm gonna show you how Tatum can help you build apps on Flow quite fast, and how you can scale your applications very easily. How you can leverage the pre-built NFT smart contract and not waste time on your own if you just need the standard one, and many more stuff. So let's do it. First of all, we are the how you can access Tatum or build on our platform. We are the REST API service, plus we have some client-side SDKs prepared for you. So if you want to start playing around on Tatum, you just need to sign into our dashboard. In our dashboard, you can create up to 3 free API keys on mainnet or on testnet. We have regions in Europe and in the US. When you create an API key, you just choose which one you want to work with. and then you will use this API key in each of the operation you are going to perform to our platform. So let's just dive right into the demo itself. Today I'm going to use Postman, very nice tool for showing the API integrations, and I'm gonna cover three topics or three different agendas today. First, I'm going to show you how to work with accounts, with wallet, with private keys. Second one is some basic blockchain operations like get current block or see the block details, see some events from the block, or sending flow or flow USD assets to some other account, or performing some custom transaction you want to perform on the flow. And the last and the biggest and the biggest topic would be NFTs, and how we can actually help you a lot with NFTs if you want to build something quite fast. So as you must all know, working with Flow and working with Flow blockchain it's pretty simple. There is nice tooling around, but as for any blockchain, working with the private keys and signatures and all these wallet generation stuff, it's quite complex if you're not some crypto guru. So we have prepared couple of handy endpoints for you, and just I'm gonna say out loud, we are gonna transfer the mnemonics and private keys over the internet right now, but this is just for demo purposes of today. We have much better security tooling to handle that. You can sign or generate wallets from your client-side libraries, or for custodial providers, we have very nice key management system which also runs on your end and handles all the wallet generation and transaction signatures somewhere else. So you don't have to be afraid that you are sending your private key somewhere over the internet, just for a purpose of this demo. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, if you want to build on any blockchain and perform any operations on any blockchain, you need to have a wallet, you need to have an address on the blockchain, and you need to have a private key for that address. That's valid for every blockchain out there. And you can generate a very, very simple but powerful wallet using our API, using a Flow wallet generate call. The URL I'm going to use here is the EU region, but you can leverage US as well. And the API key should be passed as HTTP header here. So let's just generate the wallet. From the other wallet, we understand it's a combination of the mnemonic phrase and extended public key. We have leveraged the HD wallets supported from other chains to Flow as well, which means that you can generate from one mnemonic billions of different private keys and billions of addresses. It could be handy. It's just up to you if you want to go with one mnemonic and multiple private keys, or just leverage one of each. But from the extended public key, you can generate a specific blockchain address on chain directly. All of you know that if you want to work with the mainnet flow, you need to have the power or the private key which enables you to create accounts or addresses directly on the blockchain. And we can give you, we have that power. We have the power to create on-chain addresses. So we are able to generate from extended public key address on the chain directly. You just decide which index, which public key from the wallet you have created before will be used. So let's just generate a new address on the blockchain with the public key from the first index from that wallet. Right now I'm working on a mainnet, so it can take some time. It could be 20-30 seconds based on the settlement type of the transaction. So in the meantime, while we generate the address, we have another endpoint which enables you to generate a private key, again with the index number 1, for your on-chain address we are creating in the previous call. So with these 3 API calls, you are very easily able to create a wallet, create a specific private key, and generate on-chain address on the blockchain with the public key assigned there automatically. So if right now we can check the details of this account on the chain, and we can see that we have created the address, we have the minimum required balance there, and we have one key attached to this address with a 1000 weight. So it's the most powerful key out there available. So right now, with these 3 or 4 API calls, you can create accounts for your customers and generate them very, very, very easily. So that's the account generation and working with the accounts part. The next part, very quickly, if you want to see some insights or the data from the blockchain, we have again prepared a couple of simple endpoints for you, like what's the current block. We can take a look to the details of the block, if there are some transactions, etc., etc. All the information is available. We can take a look to the detail of a specific transaction. What's the script? What was the arguments, etc., etc. Events, all the stuff you want to see from the chain. Also, if you want, you can check the specific events from the range of the block. Let's say from these 11 blocks, I want to see all the flow tokens withdrawal events, and we can see that there are some. So you can really play around and see what's up in the blockchain. There is much more endpoints than just this one, but I want to show just a couple of those for you to have a better picture what's possible and what's not possible. Last 2 operations in this section is actually performing a simple transfer of the flow tokens from one account to another. We have created quite a nice, let's say, abstraction or simplification for you, where you just enter the account and the private key from which you want to transfer the assets. You tell how much of the flow you want to transfer to the recipient, and you can just perform the transaction. I want to mention here that all transactions which are being made to the blockchain, I mean the transfer transaction or generate address transaction, all of these are, all the fees for the transaction are covered by ourselves, by Datum. So we are the gas payer by default for all of these operations, which means you just need to define the account from which you want to send the money and don't care about the gas cost. So I think that's pretty nice. And when we take a look to the detail of the transaction, we will see that we have just transferred some flow from one account to another. We have used our payer account. We have used our own proposal key for performing this transaction. And the only thing you are providing is the authorizer account. So from which account actually the flow will go. Same stuff applies to the send, like any transaction you want to send, anything you want to perform. So you just say, what do you want to perform? What's the transaction script? You can put the arguments to the transaction as you are used to, and again you just say the private key and the account of the authorizer, of the authorizers, which will sign the transaction. Again, we will use our proposal keys. We will use our payer keys. You will just do the authorizing stuff. Connecting to this feature about the proposal keys, that's really interesting because you don't have to take care of that. You actually, like, one of the biggest pain points for developers using Flow is how to actually manage the proposal keys, because I believe you know, or all of you will eventually find out when you start scaling your applications. Proposal key is locked unless the transaction is settled. So one proposal key is locked for it could be 30 seconds, it could be 40, 50 seconds, and you can't perform any other transaction with that proposal key. What we are doing, like automatically for you, is that we are handling the proposal keys for you correctly. So you don't have to take care of that at all. You just perform operations, you just perform transactions, you're just minting the tokens, you're just transferring the tokens, you can do whatever you want. We have a huge pool of proposal keys, and we are taking care of that for you. So you will know that you will be always able to scale, and you will always be able to perform any operation you want. So that was the second section, and let's just do the best one, to the NFTs. And a lot of people are waiting for that. A lot of people are asking also on our Discord and on our community, I want to build on Flow. I want to know how your NFTs are actually working on Flow. So let's do it. We have we know that to be able to create your own NFT contract on Flow, you have to create a contract in Cadence. You need to get that authorized, approved, and deployed. And this takes some time. It could be 4 weeks, 5, 6 weeks, 8, 12. It depends. It depends on how good developer you are. It depends how fast the contract could be approved, etc., etc. But sometimes some of the projects requires the NFTs really fast, because I have a deadline. I have a customer who wants to go live in 2 or 3 weeks, and this is just impossible to meet these requirements. So what we actually did a couple of months ago is that we have created an NFT contract for like the Tatum one. It's just the standard NFT with the standard functionalities out there, and this standard, like 90 or 95% of developers just need this standard stuff. They need to mint NFTs, they need to transfer the NFTs, and they need to attach the metadata to the NFTs. They don't need nothing more. And we thought to ourselves, let's just help these people who want to go live in 2 or 3 weeks. Let's just create the NFT where everybody will be able to grab their own space in this common NFT and to mint and transfer their own tokens within their own space in a one global NFT contract. So that's what we've did. That's what's actually deployed on a mainnet, and that's what you actually can leverage right now. You can actually create your own space in our NFT contract. You can leverage our NFT abstraction, where you say, I want to work with a Flow blockchain, and this account and this private key will be the deployer, of and creator of my own space in this existing NFT. And this account here will be actually the minter. So from this account, we will be able to mint any tokens in the future. So right now we have generated a new address here with the same private key I have already passed here. So I'm saying I'm gonna create my own space in the Tatum NFT contract. The result of the operation is the transaction ID from the chain. And once the transaction is settled, we will be able to find out the identifier of the space inside the contract where you can actually mint new tokens. So let's just wait a little bit. Once we will get the transaction, there is again some utility endpoint to get the space from the transaction we are creating. We have it right now. So let's just check the space we are gonna work in. So this contract address is the space inside our token where you will actually mint new tokens. So we will use another endpoint to mint new NFTs. Again, this is the private key of the minter. We need to use the account which was used to create the space. And we will mint the tokens to ourselves. We can pass the URL as a metadata for this token. Usually IPFS could be used, or AWS, or anything else you want. We are using IPFS. We are describing some metadata scheme about the NFT. So let's just mint the token. And the result of the mint operation is again the transaction ID from the blockchain plus the token ID, the identifier of the NFT you have minted. What we have added as well to this contract is ability to batch mint the tokens. So you can actually mint multiple tokens in one transaction to multiple recipients with the multiple metadata informations. And we are still minting. So we can batch mint 2, 3, 50, 100 NFTs in one call. We are still minting here. So let's try to multi-mint some tokens. In the meantime, another handy operation, I want to transfer token, again, from my space, from the owner to some new recipient. Transfer specific token ID. I can as well burn, and there are some handy read operations. Okay, so single mint is there. We have minted token number 562. So let's try to transfer this token 562 to someone else. Again, you can see that I have to always use the correct space. I have to use the correct owner. I believe it was token 562 I'm going to transfer. And the previous mint batch call was 563 and 564 as well. So what I can do, I can, for example, burn the token 564. It's also part of the APIs we are giving you. We are still transferring, we are still burning. You can see that we are performing multiple simultaneous operations, and you don't, again, provide any proposal key. Everything is working out of the box. We have probably hit some wrong state in the contract. I don't know why. We can investigate later, but we can see that we have transferred the token to someone else. Also, what we can do as well, we can read the metadata of the token. Again, we need to know the contract address, the space we are working with. We need to know that, for example, we are checking the metadata for the token 562, and we need to define the account which owns the token. I believe the token 562 is owned by this new recipient. And we can see that this is the metadata we have attached to that NFT. Also, what we can do, we can find which NFTs a specific address owns within the space, and just put there the correct space and the correct address. The correct address, I believe this one is correct. So we can see that the address was not correct, I suppose. So we need to use another one. I believe we need to use this one. Again, wrong. So we need to check out what's wrong here. But from the high level perspective, what's really important is that in 4, 5, or 6 API calls, you can create your NFT context within the existing one. You can mint, you can transfer, you can burn, and you don't need to wait a couple of weeks or months for approval. And if you just need a template which is sufficient enough for most of the projects, you just want to mint NFT, attach some information, you can do it. You don't have to take care anything about the scalability stuff, about the scalability issues, because we have the proposal key algorithm working out of the box per you. Plus, we pay for the fee. So if you just want to work with pure NFTs and don't care about the flow on the accounts, again, we cover that for you. So thank you all for that. My presentation is at the end, and I don't know if there's going to be questions here or later, but thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for presenting. I think that's super exciting, especially for developers who will need some functionality right out of the box. So thank you very much for presenting that. Yeah, so there would be time for questions right now. We have around 5 to 10 minutes. Then we should get going to the next presentation. So whenever you have any question to Tatum, they are here now. You can ask them directly. Just unmute yourself, ask a question. Don't be shy. And they're happy to answer your questions.
Hi there, guys. Thanks very much for that presentation. Just a quick question. Is there any way we can access that Postman space to have a little play around with what you've just demonstrated?
Yeah, in the guide that I just put in the office hours, there's a link to the Postman collection, so you can just import that to your workspace, and you'll have all the calls that Sam just used.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No problem.
Just maybe a small notice here. Use testnet for playing around, because mainnet is applicable on our end only for paid plans, because since we are covering the fees for you, you need to have a paid plan on our side on the mainnet. But the testnet works exactly the same. It's available. All the API calls and everything is the same as for mainnet.
I have a quick question. For the event, the getting events for block heights, are you indexing those events yourself, or are you calling the API? And can you put many events? Like, how long can the block height difference be from start to end?
Yeah, right now we are calling the API from the node, but in next couple of months we are gonna index the whole chain into our systems, so we will be able to basically fetch any event. But right now it's just the API.
Okay, thanks.
All right, last chance to grab hold of the Tatum team for your questions. And they've been a partner, a very trusted partner of ours for a long time. So I can assure you that they don't bite. You can still ask your questions.
I have another question, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any other contracts on your roadmap that you're planning on providing integrations with?
We are thinking a lot about the on-chain auction functionalities and about the different type of auctions or the fixed price listings, something similar like for example OpenSea is doing on Ethereum. We are thinking that we will create these kind of functionalities in the future. Yes. Okay. But there's not no set timeline for that for now.
Right. Thank you.
Do you have something specific in mind, or just a general question?
No, just a general question.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. If we don't have any more questions, you've already heard him. Phil is here to present his solution for a Flow event monitor. And Kim, I think we can start playing his demo, which he already recorded. And after that, you'll be able to ask Phil all the questions about his awesome contribution to the Flow ecosystem. So take us ahead.
Hey guys, my name's Phil, and thanks very much for letting me have this time to demo one of the things I've been working on for FlipFest. I'd also like to say thanks to Ben Ebner for his help and guidance throughout FlipFest, to Mac for taking the time to explain the kitty items marketplace to me, thanks to Joshua Hannon for answering my endless questions in the Cadence channel, and thanks to everyone in the Flow community for making it such a great place to be. So during FlipFest, I was helping Ben with the Crypto Dappy tutorials, and I was tasked with creating a series that would guide people on how to make their own NFT marketplace. I'd only been learning about the Flow ecosystem and Cadence for a few weeks, and so I was very much a beginner. There were a few things that I had to learn. To add context for those of you listening who are also just starting out, Flow has a direct ownership model, where you own your own assets as they are in your account. Assets aren't stored in a central smart contract. Because there's no single location where the assets are stored, we need a way to keep track of the movements and changes to these assets. We do this using events, which are essentially messages that are posted to the blockchain that off-chain applications can listen out for in order to understand the history of the blockchain and therefore update accordingly. When we build marketplaces on Flow, we don't move the assets into a central marketplace account, as that would mean that effectively we don't own them anymore. Instead, we create a listing resource, and this process creates events that we listen out for, and we can use these events to create records in a back-end database. We can use this database to populate our market, and this means that the assets can remain in the accounts of the owners while still being listed on the market. So basically, what this means is that you will need infrastructure to frequently query the blockchain for events, batch those events up, store them in a database, and expose an API that will allow a marketplace to query for records. So since I have experience with AWS, I thought I would stick with what I know, and I decided to build a serverless solution. Disclaimer, I am not an AWS expert, so I apologize if there are any awful mistakes. And this is what I've built. It centers around this Flow Event Monitor Lambda, which queries the Flow blockchain for events at regular intervals. The intervals are regulated by step functions, which trigger the iterator function 10 times per minute. An event bridge triggers the step functions once per minute. So the end result is that the Flow Event Monitor Lambda scans the blockchain every 6 seconds for new events. When it finds new events, it batches them up and saves them to DynamoDB. And it also saves a cursor for the block height so that it can start from that location next time. There's an endpoint exposed by API Gateway, and this triggers a Lambda which gets the records for the front end. So to make it accessible to other people, I've created this repo here, the Flow Marketplace Event Monitor repo, and I've included as much information as I've had the time to add, and I plan on adding more when I get a moment. I provided an introduction on what it does, and for beginners why you need to listen to events if you have a marketplace. I've talked a bit about which AWS services are used, and I've provided diagrams of the architecture. There's a section on how the central Flow Event Monitor Lambda actually works and a very rough cost estimate. There's also a getting started section and a section on how to modify it for your own use. And then some sections that I still need to finish. So if you clone this repo, you'll end up with this. So we have the Flow Event Monitor Lambda here, which is the central Lambda. We have the iterator Lambda, which invokes the Flow Event Monitor Lambda every 6 seconds. And we have the Lambda which queries the records for the front end. If we take a quick look at some of the code, you'll see that I've tried to be as explicit as possible and commented on everything to make it easy to navigate and understand. It doesn't really have any error handling at the minute, it just throws everywhere. So the usefulness of this would be a bit limited unless you actually had access to the infrastructure itself, the AWS resources that make up the event monitor. To solve that, I've written this CloudFormation template, and what this does is it creates all of the resources that you need in order to run this backend, and there's about 40 of them. So it saves you a lot of the hassle because you can deploy this script with about 3 lines of code in your terminal, and you can have the same serverless backend as that described in the repo in just a few clicks. You just need to change the event addresses here on line 313 and 14 so that they point to the events that you would like to listen for. And once you've deployed the CloudFormation template, you just need to run the shell scripts that I've written in each of the Lambda folders which push the Lambda code to the AWS consoles in your account. I'll be making a video on how to deploy it, so it's as easy as possible. So to deploy the stack, you simply run this command and AWS will start building it for you in the cloud. Head on over to CloudFormation, and once it's finished building, you'll end up with this. We can check the resources by clicking on here, and you can see that all 40 have been deployed. There are a couple more deployment steps that you need to do, such as running the publish scripts, but it's no more than 30 seconds work. Go to EventBridge, and this is how you start the event monitor. So you simply click this button here, and once you've done that, the event monitor will start querying the blockchain for events every 6 seconds, and they will be saved to your DynamoDB table. So this is the table that the listings get saved to. You can go to the Lambda function, environment variables here, which means that it will start listening for events at this address. So you can change these to point to events that you'd like to listen out for. If we go to API Gateway, you have the endpoint here that you can copy and paste into your front-end application, and you can append marketplace to it, so it would be test/marketplace, and that will allow your front end to query the listings table. So the cool thing is about this script is that it handles CORS setup for you, cross-origin resource sharing, and anyone that has set up CORS manually on AWS API Gateway knows that it's not user-friendly at all. So this is ready to go out of the box. But how about if you didn't want to run this stack continuously up in the cloud? To be completely clear, you shouldn't be doing that anyway without doing a cost analysis. If you wanted to run a local standalone node script that queried the blockchain for you and saved the events to DynamoDB, you could go over to the Flow Event Monitor Lambda, change directory into the Flow Event Monitor Lambda folder, and then you'll need to change the name of the function in there to any old name, and then call it down here. Hit save, and then simply run node index.js, and that will start scanning the blockchain for you, looking for events. There aren't any emitted for these particular addresses, so we won't pick any up. And then once it's finished, the events that it picked up will have been saved to the DynamoDB. So let's have a look at the Crypto Dappy marketplace. So here are the Dappies that the current user owns. Here are the Dappies in the marketplace. And if we wanted to list one of our Dappies that we own, we give it a price and click list. And now the Dappy's in the marketplace. And so let's run the Flow Event Monitor Lambda again. And now it's scanning the blockchain, listening for those events. There's the event that is picked up, and it saved it to DynamoDB. So now let's look at DynamoDB. Find our table. And there we can see our Dappy that was listed on the market, and it's now available to our front end to be listed in the marketplace. And likewise, if a user were to remove this Dappy from the market and then run the Flow Event Monitor Lambda, it would pick it up and this entry here would be deleted. So I think that's everything. Feel free to open any pull requests if you have any suggestions for improvements, and I welcome your feedback. Thanks very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Phil. And cool thing is, although Albert is not here today, I think he still was here in Dappy form. Wasn't a Dappy called Albert. Anyhow, thank you very much, Phil. I think it's hard to come across people that do have a very close understanding of Cadence and how to write smart contracts and have the ability to explain basic Cadence concepts as well as you just did in the beginning. So whenever you have questions for Phil's monitoring service, event monitoring service, please go ahead and ask them right now. Otherwise, it would be great if you could, Phil, probably share the link to your repository in the office hours channel. So we probably have around 5 minutes to ask some questions. If you have some, please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask Phil. All right, probably I have a question. Phil, how long did it take you to come up with this whole solution and to build everything out? And are you planning to extending that solution?
Yeah, so it took. I think the FlipFest issue was, I think you put it down for 2 weeks, but I ended up taking about 6 weeks to do it, and I was working on that pretty much every day. And the reason for that was because I really didn't have an understanding of how the NFT storefront marketplace, NFT storefront contract worked, and I was a little bit rusty in AWS, and then anyone who's deployed CloudFormation templates knows that it's a really tense process because things never work out, and so it took a lot longer than expected, and it's definitely a project that I'll be extending and kind of improving along the way. And as I said, I'm not an expert on AWS, so if anyone has any suggestions, any improvements, I'd welcome them. I mean, I know there's a few there. So, for example, the logging that can kind of ramp up your costs a little bit. So I need to sort that out. I'm planning on putting together a few issues in the repo actually, in case people want to have a look at them. But it's definitely something that I'll be continuing with.
Very great to hear. So if you have some free time and some experience in AWS or somewhere else, feel free to head on over to the repo and help Phil with his solution. Okay, if we don't have any more questions for Phil, I would say that we use the last 10 minutes to go into breakouts, where you can ask your questions. Here in this channel, you can ask general questions and tell us what you're building on Flow. We also have a dedicated Cadence channel where you can ask everything that's centered around Cadence and smart contracts. And then finally, we have an SDK and FCL channel where you can chat all about the Flow client library or the SDKs that are available for Flow. So feel free to choose your breakout now if you want to, and we can have our group discussion there. For this channel, I think the stage is pretty much open for you. You can basically unmute yourself, tell us what you're building, or ask any question that is of concern to you. The whole Flow team is gathered here, and you can ask pretty much anything you'd like to know. So we have around 10 minutes. You can make use of your time and ask us whatever you want. Tell us what you're building.
Hello. Hi, I'm Luca. I have a question about the Dapper wallet from FCL. And I know it's just on testnet, And I was wondering if there is any website, any example that we can see on testnet where the Dapper wallet is being used with FCL.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dapper Wallet isn't available just yet to the general community. So you won't actually be able to use it in production. So that's why it's not available for now.
Okay. Not even on testnet.
Yeah, that's right. So they're just rolling out with a couple of limited partners, but they do plan on opening it up more, but not in the short term.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey guys, yeah, I could share something that I think it's cool. If no one has any particular questions right now.
Oh, go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen right now, so if people want some time to go in and see the screen sharing, I'll give you some seconds. Sorry about that. Anyways, I don't know if people are familiar with Decentology. Essentially, Decentology is like a really cool DAO, and they are working with the greatest blockchains, right? And especially Flow. And there they have built something called the Dapp Starter. So basically, Dapp Starter is something that really helps you to just getting started to build your Dapp. And Decentology haven't asked me to like do this or show this or anything. I'm just showing how I use the Dapp Starter. But essentially, the Dapp Starter makes it easy for you to, you don't have to worry about FCL, like all that new stuff. You don't even need to know Cadence per se, like because they already have example like Cadence code that you could play around with. It's a really good way to get started. And as you see, it's like just like one step, you choose your blockchain. Of course, you choose Flow, and then framework, React. Of course, they will like build out more stuff, and then you can choose like your foundation, smart contracts. If you want something similar to NBA Top Shot, you can pick that one, and then you just like connect with your GitHub, and you start your dApp. And how does it actually look? Well, you get something like this, where you can have different modules and you are able to interact with the NFT. Like if it's an NFT contract, you can interact with it and you can create more action cards. So basically you can have like a whole, like a UI harness is what they're calling it, where you can, let's say, like create your NFT, mint it, deposit it, delete it from an admin account. For example, in my case, I do this for like a project I have that's called Basic Beast, which is like, just to give like a really brief thing, it's like a Pokemon inspired NFT collectible scheme. So people have an idea of that. And this is actually what I've been using in order to write my smart contract and test it with the emulator first. And then when you're done with that, you can start like interacting with the testnet. And so here I'm able to interact with the testnet. I just log in with my account. I mint my beast in my case, and that beast get deposited to a front end. At the home, at the dApp Starter, you could just like open up another locally hosted project, like our client, right? So here I have like a local hosted front end, and from there I'm able to see the beast that I have minted, right? So to give you an example, I could just really quick mint something. And if anyone have like further questions on how to use dApp Starter, please feel free to like DM me or join Decentology. Like they are happy to help. So I'll just mint. I have like a set here, and I have a beast template. it has no father or mother. It's not evolved from anything. Let's see. So it opens up the transaction where I'm able to mint my beast. I approve it. So this is on testnet. So of course it takes it's like a blockchain thing. Takes a little bit time. And you can see right now it's executing. And when it has finished its executing, since I'm logged in here with my admin account and I'm using Blocktool, well, then it should pop up in here. And I'm able to transfer that to my bestie. And I have I just log in another, I just open up the local host in another browser and log in with another Blocktool account. And this is my bestie who can receive it. So it's like, you can interact with it and you just have like a whole admin backend here, like using Dappstarter, for example. And yeah, you can get started really fast with building on Flow as a newbie as myself. So let's see if it's sealed now. So if I update this, you see 2. And this is the new beast. You can see beast ID number 4. And it's also a male. The gender is randomized, so it's like, and that randomization happens based on the block timestamp, and doing a modular if it's odd or even. If it's odd, it becomes a female. If it's even, the random number, then it becomes a male. And that's basically it. What I wanted to show, how cool Dappstarter is. And I really recommend anyone who's just starting their journey to use it. Any questions?
Really cool. Thank you very much. I fear that we are at the end of office hours right now, but I guess if there are any questions left, you can still put them in the office hour chat. But yeah, awesome agenda that we had today. Wow, I'm amazed. A lot of things that we learned today, a lot of awesome stuff. So thank you very much to the guys from Tatum. Thank you very much, Phil, for presenting. And also thank you very much for the short presentation of Dappstarter here. So great to have you all in office hours this week. Short reminder, again, next week we will not have office hours. So don't forget to mark it in your calendar that office hours is not next week, but then the week after. And well, until then, have a great time. And we're looking forward to you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thanks again for having us.